Elias did not wake gently. He tore his way back into life like someone dragged out of deep water. His chest burned. His lungs screamed. Pain wrapped around him so tight it felt like chains. The first sound he heard was not a human voice. "I saved your life," it said calmly. "Now you are tied to me forever." Elias tried to move. His body refused. Every muscle felt heavy, weak, and che like it no longer fully belonged to him. A strange warmth pressed against his chest, pulsing slowly, steadily, like a second heart. He forced his eyes open. Bright white light filled his vision. Smooth metal walls curved above him. Soft blue symbols floated in the air, shifting like living things. This was not a hospital. This was not Earth. And then he saw the speaker. The alien stood beside the medical platform. Tall, thin, skin the color of pale blue stone, marked with faint glowing lines that moved slowly with each breath. 4 eyes watched him, unblinking but not cruel. Long fingers held tools made of light and metal, humming softly. Fear slammed into Elias all at once. He gasped, and pain exploded in his chest. "Do not panic," the alien said sharply. "Your condition is unstable." What are you?" Elias whispered. "I am Dr. Kethvar of the Union Medical Fleet." Elias swallowed hard. Memories rushed back in broken pieces. The research station, the alarms, fire tearing through metal corridors, gravity failing, then darkness. "I died," Elias said. "Yes," Kethvar replied without hesitation. "For 3 minutes and 42 seconds. A cold wave passed through Elias. "Then why am I?" "Because I refuse to let you stay dead." Elias felt something shift inside his chest. Not pain, something deeper, something alive. "What did you do to me?" he asked. The alien stepped closer. "Your heart was destroyed, beyond repair by your species' technology." Elias stared at him, and "I replaced it." Silence filled the room. "With what?" Elias whispered. Kethvar's voice lowered. "A bonded symbiotic core, rare, powerful, permanent." Elias tried to laugh, but it came out weak and broken. "Permanent how?" The alien met his gaze. All 4 eyes focused on him now. "The core is linked to my life signs," Kethvar said. "If I die, it shuts down." Elias felt his breath catch. "So I die too?" "Yes. And if I die—" "The core will overload," Kethvar replied. "It will kill me." The words hung in the air like a blade. Elias stared at the ceiling, trying to understand. "You mean we're connected?" "Correct. Tied together," Elias said slowly. "Forever." Something twisted inside Elias' chest. Fear, anger, disbelief, and something else he could not name. "You didn't ask me," he said. "No," Kethvar agreed. "There was no time. You decided my whole life for me." Kethvar did not argue. "I decided you would have one." Elias closed his eyes. Tears slipped out without permission. Everyone he knew was gone. The station was gone. His old life was gone. And now even his body was no longer fully his. "Why?" Elias asked quietly. "Why save me?" The alien was silent for a long moment. "Because I was there," Kethvar finally said, "and because you were dying." "That's not an answer," Elias said. "It is the only one I have." Elias felt something then, not through words, through the strange warmth in his chest. Loneliness. Deep, quiet loneliness that did not belong to him. His eyes opened. "You feel it too, don't you?" Kethvar stiffened slightly. "The bond is already active." "So I can feel you," Elias said. "Yes." "And you can feel me." "Yes." Elias let out a slow breath. "You really tied your life to a stranger." Kethvar looked at him steadily. Humans are never truly strangers to pain. For the first time, Elias stopped seeing a monster. He saw a doctor who had made an impossible choice. Outside the room, alarms echoed softly through the ship. Elias stared at the alien who now shared his heartbeat. "Well," he said weakly, "I guess we're stuck together." Kethvar inclined his head. Forever, he repeated. And in the quiet hum of the medical bay, two hearts, one human, one alien, beat as one. Days passed slowly for Elias. Every movement reminded him that he was no longer just a human. The warmth in his chest pulsed steadily like a quiet drum that never stopped. He could feel it, not just the rhythm of the symbiotic core, but Kethvar always nearby. Not words, not thoughts, just presence. It was strange, uncomfortable, and yet comforting in a way he could not explain. Recovery was harder than Elias imagined. Simple things, sitting up, breathing deeply, moving an arm, sent pain shooting through his chest. He screamed sometimes. He cried sometimes. But the core inside him pulsed steadily, and through it he could feel Kethvar's calm energy. It was unnerving, like having someone inside his mind without being in his mind. "You should rest," Kethvar said one morning, hovering over the glowing monitors. His voice was low, smooth, and somehow both alien and familiar. "Your body is weak." "I can't just lie here forever," Elias muttered, wincing as the core pulsed painfully against his ribs. "I'm alive, aren't I? I have to do something." Kethvar's four eyes studied him silently. The alien made no move to stop him. "Yes, you are alive, but your species underestimates the fragility of recovery." Elias swallowed, pain and frustration twisting together. "Fragility? I've been through fire, explosions, death. I survived that. I survived because you saved me. You're telling me I can't survive this." The alien's lips moved in a shape Elias recognized as amusement, a tiny, almost human expression. "You are persistent. That is human." Elias felt something warm flare inside him. Maybe it was anger, maybe relief, maybe recognition. He did not know. "Persistence isn't enough if I can't move. I feel you all the time. I can't ignore it. It's like you're inside my body." "I am connected to you," Kethvar replied simply. "Our lives are now intertwined. That is how the core works, not just survival bonding." Elias closed his eyes, pressing a hand to his chest. He could feel the alien's presence like a weight, a shadow, and a heartbeat all at once. And slowly he realized he did not hate it. It was strange, foreign, and a little frightening, but it gave him a sense of safety he had not known since the explosion. "You didn't have to do this," he said quietly. "I didn't ask for this. You could have left me dead." Kethvar's long fingers hovered over the glowing console. "Yes," he admitted. "I could have left you, but I chose not to. That is my duty, and perhaps my choice." Elias felt the honesty in the words. Not the law, not protocol, just choice. The alien had risked everything, his position, his rank, his life, to save someone completely different. A human. A fragile, unpredictable, emotional human. "Did you break rules for me?" Elias asked softly, curiosity and fear mixing together. "Yes," Kethvar's voice was calm, but Elias could feel a sharp undercurrent of worry through the bond. "Union law forbids permanent life bonds with non-union species, especially humans. Your species is considered too unstable. I risked everything." Elias felt a mix of awe and guilt. "You ruined your life for me." Kethvar's gaze did not falter. "I preserved two lives," he corrected. "Yours and mine indirectly, that is duty." Elias stared at him, heart heavy. "You could have said no, you could have let me die, but you didn't, you chose me." "And now," Kethvar said, voice lower, almost a whisper, "you are tied to me." The words made Elias shiver. Tied, bound, forever. Fear surged through him, but beneath it a strange warmth spread, a quiet, undeniable connection that told him he was not alone, not ever again. He realized then that this alien was no longer just a doctor, not just someone who saved his life. Kethvar was a constant presence, a weight in his chest, a tether he could not, and did not want to, cut. Days turned into weeks. Elias learned to move slowly. The pain lessened. The bond pulsed softly, a rhythm that reminded him every second that he was alive. And through it, he could feel the alien's emotions, not in words, not in thoughts, but in the quiet strength, the frustration at his stubbornness, the unspoken concern. One evening, as stars streaked across the alien ship's observation deck, Elias whispered into the emptiness, "You really tied your life to a stranger." Through the bond, he felt Kethvar's answer, not as words, but as a wave of calm certainty. "I was there," it said. And Elias realized, slowly, painfully, beautifully, that he had been chosen. Not because he deserved it, not because it was law, but because someone had decided he was worth saving. And for the first time since the explosion, Elias felt hope. Weeks passed, and Elias began to walk again, slowly. Every step sent tremors through his chest, reminding him of the alien core that now shared his life. But he was alive, whole, and somehow connected in ways he could not fully understand. He had begun to accept Kethvar not just as a doctor, but as something more. A presence he could not escape, nor did he want to. But the Union did not forgive. A week later, alarms sounded through the ship. Blinding lights flashed. Guards appeared from every corridor. The humans on the ship had never seen anything like the alien fleet's precision, and yet Elias could feel Kethvar's tension ripple through the bond. It was different this time. He was no longer just a patient. He was part of something bigger, something dangerous. "You are required at the tribunal," the lead officer said, voice sharp and cold. "The bond is illegal. It must be severed immediately." Elias felt panic clawing at his chest. He had expected questions, maybe a warning, but not this. "Sever it," he whispered to Kethvar, voice trembling. "You're going to just take it away." "I cannot let them," Kethvar said firmly. He stepped close, their shared warmth pulsing through Elias like fire and ice at once. "It would kill us both." The tribunal chamber was enormous. Pale light reflected off smooth walls, making Elias feel small. Guards flanked the edges. Alien officials sat on elevated platforms, their expressions unreadable. And there, standing at the center, was the commander who had ordered the bond investigation. "This connection," the commander began, voice ringing in the silence, "is forbidden by the Union. Human subjects may not be permanently bonded to non-Union species. You are in violation of all protocols." Elias could feel the fear in Kethvar, sharp and cutting. He could also feel his own anger, hot and bright, sparking like electricity in his chest. He swallowed the fear and stepped forward, pain flaring with each move. Every step reminded him of the core pulsing, alive, tethered. "No," he said, voice trembling but growing stronger. "You can't do this." The tribunal stared. Elias could feel their confusion. He was only a human, fragile, emotional, considered weak by Union standards. And yet here he stood, defiant. "You say humans panic, you say we break under pressure, but you don't know us," Elias continued, chest rising with determination. "This alien saved me knowing it would destroy his life. He risked everything, his position, his rank, his future, and he chose me, so now I choose him." Kethvar's hands twitched. Through the bond, Elias could feel the alien's heartbeat quicken. Hope, fear, relief. The commander's eyes narrowed. "Your loyalty is admirable, human, but law is law." "Then the law is blind," Elias said. Pain flared in his chest, sharp and burning, but he ignored it. "You think we are weak, but humans have survived worse than this. We survive because we choose to, and I choose him, not because I have to, but because I want to." The alien beside him shifted slightly, a quiet acknowledgement he could feel in every heartbeat. Kethvar's presence was steadying, grounding him. Together they were a single force, one life bound to another. The commander leaned forward. "If you refuse to sever the bond—" "You'll have to go through me," Elias said firmly. "Not him, not alone." A long silence fell. The room was heavy with tension. Officials exchanged glances. Guards shifted nervously. And through the bond, Elias felt Kethvar's silent gratitude mingled with awe. "Elias," Kethvar whispered, a note of warning in the shared pulse of their hearts. "This could cost." "Not alone," Elias repeated, stronger this time, the pain in his chest insignificant against the fire in his spirit. For the first time, Elias realized the truth. The choice was not just Kethvar's, it was his too. They were not victims of circumstance. They were partners in defiance, in survival, in life. And as the tribunal deliberated, Elias stood tall. His chest burned, his arms ached, but his spirit roared louder than the fear surrounding them. He had chosen, and the alien who had saved his life felt it. And in that moment, both human and alien understood the unspoken truth. Once a human chooses, once a human commits, they do not let go. Not ever, the Union did not accept defiance lightly. Elias and Kethvar were taken to a stark chamber, the walls smooth and cold. Bright lights hung from the ceiling, blinding and harsh. The tribunal had decided they would test the bond to see if it was stable, to see if the human could endure it. Elias knew the risk. He could feel it in every pulse of the symbiotic core. If the bond broke, if the tests pushed too far, they could both die. The first test was simple. Medical probes attached to Kethvar's limbs and to Elia's chest, glowing softly, pulsing in tandem with their heartbeats. Sensors measured the connection. Then a controlled surge of energy ran through the alien doctor. Elias felt it instantly, not in words but in fire. Pain lanced through him, sharp, deep, relentless. He screamed, stumbling to the floor. Every fiber of his body wanted to break, to give in. But he could feel Kethvar suffering too. The alien's panic, confusion, and guilt coursed through the bond like molten lava. "End it," the commander said coldly. "Sever the bond, end the suffering." Elias shook his head violently. "No," his voice cracked, hoarse with agony, but the word carried strength. "I will not let you suffer alone." The pain intensified. It was like fire inside his chest, spreading to his limbs, his head, his very bones. Blood filled his mouth from overexertion, yet he did not break. Every cry, every flinch, every shudder carried determination. He refused to give up, not for himself, but for Kethvar. Through the searing agony, he felt the alien's despair. Kethvar's heartbeat had raced into chaos. He could sense the alien's shame, guilt, and helplessness. And Elias realized the depth of the bond. It was not just life, not just survival. It was empathy, shared pain, shared existence. "Human resilience is remarkable," a Union scientist murmured, their voice quiet, almost awed. "The human nervous system, it stabilizes the core, even under extreme stress." Elias could not hear the words with his ears. He felt them in the fire still burning in his chest. And in that fire he understood something crucial. Humans had always survived the impossible: wars, plagues, disasters, betrayal, loss. Pain did not define them. Choice did. He clenched his fists, each movement sending sparks of pain through him. "I choose you," he whispered, barely audible. "I choose you always, do you hear me?" Through the bond, Kethvar did. Relief, warmth, and something new, hope, rippled from the alien to him. For the first time, Elias felt a shift in the pain. It was still there, still searing, but it was balanced by the bond's strength. They were supporting each other now, each heartbeat a shield, each pulse a promise. The tribunal watched in stunned silence. The human, fragile and emotional by their standards, refused to break. The alien, bound and tethered, found strength in that refusal. Together, they created something unexpected, a force neither the Union's rules nor science had anticipated. Hours passed. The chamber was filled with moans, pulses of light, and the quiet, steady determination of Elias. Finally, the testing equipment powered down. Elias collapsed, gasping, trembling, but alive. The core inside him glowed steadily, warm and unwavering. He could feel Kethvar beside him, equally exhausted but whole. The commander stepped forward, expression unreadable. "The bond, it works," he admitted quietly, almost unwillingly. "Because of the human." Elias looked up, chest heaving, blood still on his lips. He felt the fire in his body begin to fade into warmth. A strange smile formed on his lips despite the pain. "No," he whispered, "because of us." Kethvar inclined his head, eyes softer than Elias had ever seen. Through the bond, Elias could feel the alien's relief, pride, and something he could not name. Respect, admiration, perhaps a mix of both. For the first time, Elias understood fully what the bond meant. It was not a chain, it was a bridge. Pain could not sever it, fear could not sever it, rules could not sever it. Only choice, shared, determined, unwavering, could sustain it. And human choice, Elias realized with burning certainty, was stronger than anything the universe could throw at it. After the trial, the ship was quieter. The lights dimmed. Machines hummed softly. But Elias could still feel the bond pulsing in his chest, steady, alive, unyielding. Kethvar moved beside him, adjusting monitors, checking readings, quiet and precise. Elias watched the alien work, nodding the faint glow in his eyes, the small tension in his hands. Through the bond, he could feel it all: calm, frustration, focus, and a lingering shadow of guilt. "You did not break," Kethvar said finally, turning to him. 4 eyes met his, steady and intense. "Most humans would have given in, most would have surrendered." Elias swallowed, feeling the pain from the trial flare in his chest. Maybe, he admitted. But humans, we survive, we endure, we fight, and we protect the people we care about, even when it hurts, even when it seems impossible. The alien studied him, head tilting slightly. You are remarkable. You carried the bond without collapse. It is unprecedented. Elias let out a shaky laugh. Unprecedented, huh? That's one way to say it. Or maybe humans are stronger than anyone expects. He pressed a hand to his chest, feeling the warmth of the core beneath his ribs. Not just strong in body, strong in will, strong in heart, and stubborn as hell. Kethvar allowed a faint, almost imperceptible smile. Perhaps you are right. You are teaching me something. Elias looked at him, surprised. Teaching you. Yes, the alien said softly. I observed your species. I understood you through logic, through theory. But now I understand through experience, through the bond, through you. Humans do not give up on people. You endure the unbearable. You bear pain that seems impossible. And through it, you survive, you protect, you choose. And that choice is the greatest strength of all. Elias felt a wave of emotion swelling, almost threatening to break him. He had survived death. He had survived pain. He had survived fear. But this recognition coming from an alien who had seen countless species, countless lives, countless tragedies, it humbled him. And that, Kethvar continued, voice calm, measured, is why our laws are insufficient. They cannot account for human resilience, not fully, not entirely. You are more than rules, more than science, more than protocol. Elias let the words sink in. The fear that had haunted him for weeks, the fear that the bond would be severed, that he and Kethvar would die because of law, because of fear, because of order, began to fade. There was respect now, recognition, a quiet acknowledgement of what humans could endure. I guess we're not as fragile as they think, Elias said, voice low, almost a whisper. Maybe humans are stronger because we feel everything. Fear, anger, pain, love, it hurts, yeah, but that's what makes us endure. That's what makes us fight for the people we care about. Through the bond, he felt Kethvar's pulse respond, a rhythm of agreement, of understanding, of quiet awe. The alien did not speak, but Elias could feel it. He could feel the respect, the gratitude, the unspoken truth that the human before him had changed everything. And now, Elias continued, slowly straightening his back, chest still tender, body still weak. You can see it too. I'm alive, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Kethvar's long fingers hovered near his chest. Yes, he admitted softly. I see it now. The bond is strong because of you, because you endured, because you chose, not because of me or the technology, but because of what humans are. Elias smiled faintly, exhaustion and pride mingling in his heart. Then let's keep moving forward, he said. Together, whatever comes next, we face it, not alone. Through the bond, Kethvar allowed a ripple of relief and calm to pass into him. Elias could feel the alien's gratitude, respect, and a hint of admiration. Together, they had survived the trial. Together, they had shown the Union something unexpected, that human resilience was not weakness, it was power. And in that quiet, dimly lit chamber aboard an alien ship, two lives, human and alien, separate but bound, moved forward with a shared understanding. Humans endured, humans fought, humans chose. And once a human chose someone, they never let go. After the tribunal ended, the ship was quieter than Elias had ever known. The humming of machinery was the only sound, steady and rhythmic like a heartbeat. He sat on the edge of the observation deck, looking out at the stars streaking past the alien vessel. The universe was vast and cold, but somehow, with the bond pulsing in his chest, he felt less alone. Kethvar joined him, moving silently. Elias felt the alien's presence first, then heard the soft voice. You should hate me, Kethvar said, four eyes focused on the human. I bound you without asking. I interfered with your life, your species, laws, your morality. You should be angry. Elias shook his head slowly, fingers brushing over the warm core beneath his ribs. I can't hate you, he said softly. You saved my life, you risked everything for me, you chose me. The alien paused, long fingers resting lightly on the railing. I told myself it was duty, he admitted, voice quiet, almost vulnerable. I told myself that I was only following protocol, saving a life as any doctor would, but the truth, I did not want to let you die. Not then, not ever. Elias felt the words like a weight lifting from the alien. He could sense it through the bond, the shame, the fear of judgment, the quiet longing for connection. And he understood something profound. Kethvar had acted not because of law, not because of duty alone, but because he cared. Deeply. Then we saved each other, Elias said, voice trembling slightly. You gave me life, and I gave you a reason to keep going. Kethvar's 4 eyes blinked slowly. Perhaps, he said, almost a whisper. Perhaps you are right, I was lonely, and you reminded me that life, even fragile, fleeting human life, is worth risking for. Elias smiled faintly, feeling a warmth in his chest beyond the core's pulse. We're not just bonded by the core, he said. We're bonded by choice, by what we've endured together, by the fact that we saved each other again and again in ways no one else can understand. For a long moment they were silent, watching the stars blur past. And in that silence, Elias felt something he had never felt before, a connection deeper than survival. Not fear, not obligation, not pain, something real, something enduring. You fear judgment, Elias said quietly. You fear the union, the laws, the consequences of your choice, but you do not fear me. I did, Kethvar admitted softly. At first, I feared your anger, your pain, I feared the bond would destroy you. But I see now, you are human, you endure, you choose, and that choice, it binds me as much as it binds you. Elias laughed softly, a sound mixed with relief and wonder. Then we're equals, he said. Not prisoner and captor, not doctor and patient, just 2 lives tied together by fate, by choice, and by survival. The alien inclined his head. Through the bond, Elias felt the pulse of relief, gratitude, and something warmer, something almost like pride. Kethvar had given him life, yes, but in doing so, the alien had revealed the truth about himself. That even an alien bound by duty could feel connection, could care, could choose beyond logic. Then let's face the universe together, Elias said softly, still gazing at the stars. Whatever comes, whatever rules, whatever dangers, we face it, not alone. Kethvar's pulse strengthened in response, warm and steady, mirroring Elias' own heartbeat. Together, the alien agreed. And in that word, spoken not just in sound, but in the rhythm of their shared bond, Elias felt a promise. The universe was vast, dangerous, cold. But with the alien doctor at his side, with their lives intertwined in a way neither could undo, he felt ready. Ready to endure, ready to fight, ready to choose. And for the first time since the explosion, Elias felt complete. Not just alive, not just saved, but understood, valued, connected in a way that transcended species, rules, and fear. Because some bonds are stronger than law, stronger than pain, stronger than death itself. And this bond, theirs, was unbreakable. The days that followed were different. The ship moved quietly through the stars, its engines humming a constant rhythm that mirrored the bond in Elias' chest. He had recovered enough to walk without pain flaring sharply, though every step reminded him of the symbiotic core and the alien doctor who had risked everything for him. Kethvar remained by his side, always alert, always present, their lives entwined in a rhythm that no law, no tribunal, no union rule could sever. The union eventually rewrote the laws. Human union bonds became rare but recognized, a testament to endurance and loyalty. Elias did not care much for the bureaucracy. What mattered was that he and Kethvar were free to exist together, not as prisoner and savior, not as human and alien, but as 2 lives chosen to face the universe side by side. One evening in the observation deck, Elias leaned against the railing and watched distant stars streak past. The ship felt alive, but what made him truly feel alive was the pulse he felt beneath his ribs. The core. The bond, Kethvar's presence. He could feel the alien's heartbeat through the connection, steady, calm, and unwavering. You know, Elias said softly, most humans are afraid of being tied to someone, afraid of losing freedom, but this feels different. I wasn't trapped, I was chosen. Kethvar's long fingers brushed lightly against the edge of the railing. Elias could feel the alien's quiet acknowledgement through the bond. Yes, Kethvar replied. Chosen, not because of law or technology or chance, but because of our choice, because we endured, because we survived together. Elias smiled faintly. He remembered the trial, the pain, the fire that had seared through his body, and the fear that had threatened to break him. And yet, despite everything, he had not let go. He had chosen Kethvar, and the alien had chosen him. The bond that once terrified him now felt like a shield, a promise, a bridge between two hearts beating as one. They had faced death, laws, and isolation together. They had endured pain that should have destroyed them, yet it had only made the connection stronger. And now, as they drifted silently through the cosmos, Elias understood something he had not fully realized before. Humanity's greatest strength was not weapons, technology, or intelligence. It was loyalty, devotion, the ability to choose someone and never let go. "I used to think survival was enough," Elias said quietly, "just staying alive. But it's not. Surviving alone isn't living. Life is sharing it, fighting for someone else, choosing someone even when it's dangerous, even when it hurts." Through the bond, Kethvar's heartbeat pulsed a steady, warm rhythm mirroring Elia's own. The alien could feel the truth of his words, the weight of their shared experiences, the quiet strength that came from human determination. "Then we live," Kethvar said softly. "Not just survive, we live together." Elias reached out, resting his hand over the core beneath his ribs. The warmth from the bond spread through him, steady and reassuring. "Forever," he whispered. "Forever," Kethvar repeated. And in the pulse that answered him, Elias felt the depth of the promise, a bond that neither law, fear, nor death could break. Two lives intertwined, chosen, and unyielding. The stars stretched endlessly before them, cold and distant, but inside the ship, inside their bond, there was light, warmth, and certainty. Elias realized that the universe could throw anything at them, aliens, battles, disasters, even death itself. But as long as they had each other, they could endure, they could survive, they could live. And humanity's greatest gift, Elias thought, was that once a human chooses someone, once they bind their life to another, not out of duty, but out of love, loyalty, and determination, they never ever let go. The alien doctor beside him, Kethvar, was proof of that. And Elias was proof that humans, against all odds, could teach even the strongest alien what it meant to endure, to fight, and to care. As the ship drifted through the endless night of space, their bond pulsed steadily, warm and alive, a quiet declaration stronger than any law. They were together, forever chosen,